Let's see today's literary term. Imagism. Poetry underwent a profound transformation when the literary movement known as Imagism first appeared in the early 20th century. The movement introduced the idea of imagining the physicality of an object through poetry. Imagism was a break from the elaborate style associated with the Victorian era, characterized by its dedication to accuracy, economy of language, and the vivid portrayal of images. This movement, which was heavily influenced by the visual arts, especially painting and photography, aimed to express the essence of a situation or an object in succinct and unambiguous language. In actuality, Imagist poetry frequently had free verse forms, short, snappy verses, and a strong emphasis on rhythm and sound. Instead of adhering to a rigid code, the movement encouraged poets to understand and apply its ideas in their own special ways. By precisely and clearly capturing the essence of a moment, the Imagists aimed to evoke a sense of immediacy and intensity. Origins of Imagism. Imagism's origins can be found in the early 1900s literary and artistic scene in London. A small group of modernist poets began to focus more on imagery in their poems and felt that poetry was best written in straightforward terms, describing things, events, and subjects. This was in contrast to earlier poets, who used an abundance of words to describe images and connected them to philosophical ideas. These modernist poets desired the image to be the focal point of the poem rather than analyzing the themes it presented. A group of poets led by F.S. Flint, Richard Aldington, and Ezra Pound actively promoted this movement. Ezra Pound, in particular, was instrumental in developing the tenets of Imagism, stressing the value of approaching the subject directly and employing accurate, concrete imagery. One of the most well-known pieces of Imagist poetry is, In a Station of the Metro, 1913, a poem by Ezra Pound. The emphasis on the image itself is one of the main ideas of Imagism. The movement abstained from the complex vocabulary and abstract themes of earlier poetic traditions in favor of simplicity and clarity. Poets aimed to convey a single, powerful image devoid of extraneous details. The goal of this movement was to give the reader a rich sensory experience that would be similar to the immediate effect of visual art. The guiding ideas of the movement were delineated in Pound's 1913 Imagist Manifesto. The document promoted the elimination of unnecessary words and emphasized the importance of using common speech and language. Pound's well-known maxim, "Make it new," perfectly captured the spirit of the Imagist movement, which advocated for innovation in both form and content while rejecting convention. Pound highlighted the following tenets to outline the movement: to speak in everyday terms, but to always use the precise word; to create original rhythms rather than mimicking older ones, which only serve to reiterate earlier moods, in order to express new moods; to write sharp, distinct poetry that is never ambiguous or unclear. Imagist poets used free verse as a means of experimenting with new sounds and disregarding traditional rhymes and even the requirement to rhyme. The poets could then concentrate more on the image by doing this. Imagism had an impact on poetry as well as the larger literary canon. The movement had an impact on authors like William Carlos Williams, and it cleared the way for later advances in modernist literature. The focus on visual imagery also found resonance in other artistic media, which helped to strengthen the connections between early 20th century artistic expressions. Imagism is regarded as a seminal movement that transformed poetry by promoting precision, clarity, and the vivid representation of images. The development of modernist literature was significantly impacted by the rejection of elaborate language in favor of direct expression. Thank you.